Happy Monday. This is a video for the Zigat Fresh Reviews collaborations. It is a 1 dynamic driver and 4 balanced armature hybrid, which is the same as the Da Vinci. This is a set with a Biocellulose DD and Knowles branded balanced armatures. It is coming in at $250 if you comment below this video and you are a subscriber. I'm going to pull out somebody's name, and if they're existing in the comment section here and also the unbox for this set, you're going to get this one for free, and I'm going to pay to ship it around the world. If anybody ever contacts you and says you need to pay any money or anything, it's totally false and fake. Bad Guy Good Audio Reviews pays for everything, so look out for that. Announcements are on the unboxing channel. This is a set that, let me pick it back up. Don't know why I put it down. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and talk about my ranking system. It's very high-tech, and I need to explain this to you. On the left side, it says dumpster fire. That means that you put it in a dumpster and you pour gas on it, you set it on fire, and it turns basically into carbon. That's bad. You don't want that. Next is hope it works. Hope it was free, excuse me. Hope it, pretty much the same thing. Hope it was free. Like you didn't pay any money for that. Move along. Nothing else to say there. Coping is working. A large portion of this hobby, because of how subjective it is on some degree coping, whether it's a $50 set or a $5,000 set. Opening the box, listening to it, and feeling some kind of thing less than super satisfied, and then a couple days later adjusting. That's coping. That's not a rec. Now we get to competes with its peers. This is a recommendation. No, it's not. Let me back up from that a second. This is saying that give me some recs in the $300 to $400 range. That's a really dead zone. And then you say, add this item in because that's in there. It's like its price puts it in the go check it out thing. It's not really a rec. I'd buy it. That's a rec. I'd spend my money on that. I think that's pretty clear and self-explanatory. Going to shamelessly hype this. That's super self-explanatory. That is the high-tech scale right there. Now again, comment below if you're interested in getting this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the frequency response graph. To my left, it is extremely similar to the Dusk 2 that was recently released by Krin. In its analog form, there was quite a few people not a fan of it, but it was because of the quality of the drivers and the replay, not so much the tuning. There's actually a lot of people that like this tuning. There was the DSP of that set is doing some magical stuff that goes beyond just simply adjusting the signature that you can see on frequency response. There's something about the mini planars, or I'm not sure what it is, but I'm going to address it in my video. The tuning itself is very kind of a warmish neutral. It's not bright because it doesn't have that energy upper mids, and it's not too warm because it doesn't have the bass, and it's certainly not a bass head set. It's relatively balanced and extremely similar to the Dusk if you want to have a set for reference, and that's a very popular set, and it's a good place to be. I'm not familiar with Fresh Review's chosen library and what he likes to listen to, so everything I say from this point forward, of course, is my own opinion, and also without any understanding of what he listens to. When I do the review for Da Vinci, I know that Timmy likes J-pop, K-pop, and female singers more than male singers, but that might be my image, but I don't know because I don't really get into that stuff with them in DMs. We talk about simple stuff, when stuff's coming, how much stuff's going to cost, and that's it. Just so there's no kind of subconscious bias going on. So let me go ahead and talk about music. In the low end, stuff like Big Boy Killjoy, which is a triple drop, a typical like 808. It's very substantial. It's got a lot of power. Stuff like the Fat Frequency Scarlet would be, if you said, listen, I listen to hip hop all the time. That's a big part of my library. Stuff that is tuned like the Dusk, released by Krin, or this Fresh Fuse set, wouldn't be what I would rec to you, and it's for obvious reasons. It doesn't have that big bass. Another thing is that Zigat did a couple other sets. One was the Twins, the Cinco Trace and the Do Cinco. They already have the boosted bass and then the mid, so they've kind of already done that. It's good for the company not to completely redo what they've already done, and assuming this is what Fresh Reviews is going for, I think it's good in two ways. One, it's another type of tuning for that brand, and two, it's very likely probably exactly what Fresh Reviews wanted, but that's not a bass head set. 4-string, 5-string bass guitars with the pulls, snaps, and the releases, the ringing of the strings, sounds actually very clean. I like it a lot. I think it sounds good. It's a nice replay. of that instrument. As we get into the authoritative, substantial kick drum, very obviously produced from the fourth album by Led Zeppelin. Don, 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 don. It sounds good. It sounds produced. It doesn't have the power and authority that some other sets with the elevated bass obviously have. Elevated boosted bass doesn't directly one-to-one correlate with the amount of bass that you hear in your ear. It's a little more complicated than that. Let me say that out there. However, it's a pretty good guideline, and this set versus a couple other ZGATs or other stuff that graph with more bass do in fact probably settle in a little bit better when it comes to substantial low frequency events. This does this fine, but stuff with more mid bass would probably do a little bit better. Where this set really seems to shine is when we get into vocals like Chris Cornell, Lane Staley with very Spartan backings, like the MTV Unplugged for The Rooster, which is just epic. It's better than the original version. Nina with a not very produced version of Heart of Glass by Blondie all sound excellent on this. The way this treats vocals is really ideal and very much matching my target and how I like to hear it. I don't like stuff to be overly intense and fatiguing because I like to listen to music for long periods of time. Vocals that are too intense are not what I want. This doesn't do that. This shines right there. As we get into the upper mids to treble crossover, where we're actually crossing over to almost exclusively harmonics and overtones, this continues with the good tuning and doesn't take keyboards or piano or electric or acoustic or with or without distortion pedals, and treats them in a way that sounds natural without overly boosting them, and making them intense, maybe lively listen, but doomed to be listened to for only about 30 minutes, because that will get on me and maybe a lot of other people pretty quickly. This tuning would indicate that's not the case, and my listening plays that out as being actually what it is. So the tuning is very good. It's unlike prior ZGATs, and potentially when you see his review for his own set, he's going to tell you how close it is to what he actually wanted. I assume it's what he wanted because he's got multiple sets in exchange when you start to do the tuning. Let me rank this up there. Dumpster fire, burn it. No, obviously no. Hope it was free. Somebody who comments below, that's going to be you. Coping is working. No, I saw the graph and I listened to it, and it's not the hip-hop set. But there's a lot of people watching my channel that aren't really into hip-hop, obviously by the comments that I see underneath the videos. Coping is working, no. Competes with its peers, $250. There's a lot of stuff in that range. I would say that it does. I'd buy it, $250. $250. I would actually buy this. Keep in mind, always calculate the bias with any reviewer that I don't care how much you like them personally or are aligned with how they do their videos. There's bias involved all the time. You can't see it because it's in a whole another realm called DMs that used to be called PMs, private message, but now they get shared a lot. So that P's gone. They're DMs. But the way that people act on video and the way that they communicate privately is stunningly different, actually. So calculate the bias because it exists with every opinion. This person is a really nice guy that I've spoken to many times. He's doing a collaboration with a company I did a collaboration with, and it's being released by a seller that sends me stuff. Actually, not so much recently, if anybody's noticed on this channel. I'm not getting a lot of stuff sent by Linsol. But there are connections, and you should be aware of that. Having said that, it contains branded drivers. It's unlike prior ZGATs. It's very much like the Dusk, which I like a lot, without the grainy, whether that's coming from planar or not, and I'll talk about that in that Dusk video. It's striking good chords, no pun intended, in a lot of ways, and I think it's priced appropriately for what it's delivering. It's a good set. Congrats to Fresh Reviews. Don't forget, comment below this video. Don't forget that there is an unboxing channel, and there's a comment placed over there too, and that's actually where I do the second check and then I announce the winner. So the unboxing channel is huge. There's only 3,600 subscribers over there, so there's actually only 3,600 people even qualified to get this, which is kind of good because when you look at the channel you think, wow, there's so many people, I'm never going to get a chance. 20% or less actually are qualified because they are subscribed to both sides. So there's winning in people not paying attention, just jumping in and saying, that guy gives stuff to people if you make a comment. Let me go in there and make a comment. And then they totally didn't hear the part or weren't told the part. There's an unboxing channel, and he looks at both sides, and you got to sub to both and comment in both. Or that's what he wants before he starts to pull up they don't know. That's the beauty of the short attention span of the internet. Most people who are watching this right now that know I have an unbox and commented already under that video are being commented above and below by people that have no idea. They're totally in space. They've done half the work, and then when it comes time to pull out a name, they're not even going to get qualified. And you watching this can smile because you're among a small group of people that actually listens to the end of the description of what I do. So there's that. Congrats to Fresh Review. If this turned out exactly the way you wanted it and everything went smooth, congrats to you. I hope this turns out really well. I will compare this with the DaVinci because it's a 1+4 and it's more affordable. But that'll be down the road because I haven't even done the DaVinci video yet. And then I'm going to do the giveaway for the signed version of that. So that's it for this video. You guys have a great week. I'll see you probably Wednesday, and I'm out.